Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update, and I'm your host, Candi CWall Waller from Bowie Television, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where the team is practicing this week in advance of their week 4 game against the Arizona Cardinals. You all probably learned right after Monday Night Football, or let me say this correctly, after the Commanders' victory against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football, that the team was going straight from Cincinnati, flying to Phoenix because it's a short week, and just going to work out here. So, yes, some of us in the media are here along with the team, taking in all of the information, watching practice, doing press conferences, media scrums, you name it. We are here and it is hot. So, with that being said, I have a lot to share because when do I not have a lot to share? So, I'll get into a bit of my questions from the press conference with Dan Quinn, as well as some questions that I had for Jayden Daniels in his press conference. I'll show a bit of clips from practice, as well as share some footage from media scrums with rookie corner Mike Sainristil, Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner, and punter, because as Tress Way told us, he is still on the team. Punter Tress Way, who has been a heck of a holder, hasn't he? The last couple weeks, all right? Since he hasn't had to punt since week 1. And anyway, so lots to share, lots to cover. So we'll go ahead and get into it right now. So I've been watching, as we all have, and a lot of attention on the, I guess we can say this, right? The award-winning, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Again, rookie honors for this week as well, Jayden Daniels. Along with Jayden in the rookie class, I've definitely been taking a deeper dive look into rookies Luke McCaffrey and Mike Sainristil. So I definitely want you all to be sure to stick around for the scrum with Mike Sainristil. He had a great part in there about some advice that he received from Washington legend, Hall of Famer Darrell Green, that I want to make sure you all sink your teeth into. Bobby Wagner, in anticipation of the game against the Arizona Cardinals. Bobby Wagner had a lot to share about Kyler Murray. So I think you all want those sound bites. I think you all want to be paying attention to that. And I thought it was just great, as always. Tress Way is such a delight to cover with this team, and he's just great overall. And so he had a couple of nice tidbits to share about Jayden Daniels and just who he is, and all of them watching him grow, and his honors this week and what that was like in celebrating Jayden after his phenomenal performance on Monday Night Football. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into my first question for Commanders head coach Dan Quinn. Hey there, Coach. It is hot out here. So
yes, it is, Candi.
So
make them quick. No, I'm just kidding.
I have questions about two from your rookie class, Luke McCaffrey and Mike Sainristil. What have you seen from them from training camp to now?
Yes. What I've seen early is a little bit what I've seen late. By that, I'll say these guys are like a rare level of competitor. They just don't back down. I knew Mike also had leadership skills early on, where guys would look to him, not just the other rookie class, but some of the defensive backs as well. So I would say that's what I saw as they're growing into their season. They're just 3 games in, so each of these opportunities, they're so important. I think when we look back a few months from now, some of the mistakes that guys make early, they don't make late. But you do have to fight through some of those with the guys, and I have unbelievable belief in them about what they're capable of becoming. And that sometimes happens with the youngest players, to make sure they get the experience. So by the time December and January football does come, they've lived through some of those. They have some scars to look back on, and they're really better for that.
And with that being said, Mike Sainristil for sure talked about some of those scars. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into his media scrum because he's gone up against some really good receivers, and he's got another one coming up this week as well in fellow rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. So let's check out this interview with Mike Sainristil. It was with all of the media, and it's about 4 minutes long, so get comfortable because there's a few of these, but I want you all to check them out. Definitely some tidbits here. Now, total transparency. I did not have the amazing Darrell Owens here with me just yet. So this is just me recording straight up raw footage, you all. But I do hope you enjoy the content. So check it out.
I'm learning all the techniques I need to learn for that game. But, I enjoy being out there.
What do you like about playing out there?
Being able to have more vision, being able to read the offense a little bit more, being able to read routes, anticipate what's coming. And then, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities to be made outside in the corner position as well.
And I know, I don't know how many times you matched up against Marvin when you guys played that, but you would have Scott. What's your take on Marvin Harrison?
He's a really good receiver, you know what I mean? I think, coming in the league as a rookie, he is, one of the better receivers in the rookie class. And what he did in college at, Ohio State, phenomenal. I think he's a, generational talent. So, looking forward to going up against him again.
How much were you ever on him?
I didn't shadow him at all, but, I lined up against him a few times.
So what made him dangerous?
He has really good routes, really good catch radius. He could, hit the tempo within his routes the way he runs certain routes. But, all around, I think he's a really good receiver.
What, if anything, changes when you have an assignment of being more outside on a given week about your preparation?
Just, switching the mindset, being able to have more vision, taking pictures of the formation, and then, just understanding, where you're at on the field, what type of, calls the offenses will give you in certain parts of the field and stuff like that. So just having, that whole mindset and just pretty much, I think I call it just opening up your thinking, I would say.
It's always said that in your position, you got to have a short memory. And so you have the touchdown go against you first, but then you come back, make a bunch of plays. After that, good example, just, hey, you got to stay focused no matter what.
Yeah, Darryl Green told me, give yourself, it's the 10-second rule. From the time, I gave him a touchdown, from the time I got to from the time I got scored on to getting back to the bench, use all that time in between to be frustrated, so whatever I want to say once I sit down on the bench, it's cleared. So just being able to, shift your mindset to, all right, what's next? Not being able to sit back and think about, the pass I got scored on. I went against a top 5 receiver. Plays like that are going to happen. And, it's not okay, but you have to live with it, you know what I'm saying? So just being able to move on and, worry about, all right, from this point on, what can I do to help the defense be successful?
Take 2 more, and then Coleman's available too. Mike, preseason and regular season, how different is the NFL game from those two?
It moves faster, you know what I mean? I didn't really, get too many snaps in the preseason, so I can't really call, what being out there was like. I would say, though, just the game speed is a lot faster. Guys are in the right spots. The margin of errors is very small. So you just have to, be where you're supposed to be. You have to trust your technique, trust the call, and, play within the scheme. Don't try doing your own job while you're out there. The coaches give you an assignment. Just trust and believe in it.
Where's the challenge for you as a DB with a quarterback like Kyler Murray who can do it all?
I'll say just, being disciplined in my coverage. He does a great job of creating and extending plays. So just being able to get that conditioning throughout the week of, all right, the first play is done, the second play is now beginning, being able to stay in coverage, plaster, and, just keep an eye on the ball throughout the plays.
You guys have been moving a bunch of DBs around trying different things. Where do you guys feel like you're at as a secondary in terms of figuring out, hey, here's our best guys and this is what we're going to roll with?
I think the type of defense we play asks the DBs to be able to move around in different spots because in certain calls you never know where you can end up. So just being able to understand the techniques at each position, whether it's corner, nickel, safety, because like I said, there's certain coverages where guys are playing in different spots. So I think just the mindset of being able to put yourself in a different position than your main position, and everyone's just doing what the coaches are asking us to do right now. And, like I said, we're just continuing to trust in, what they're doing with us.
All right.
So again, thank you all for bearing with me. I hope you can hear that. If not, make sure you rewind this back, Bowie television watchers, to make sure you hear some of the tidbits that Mike Sainristil shared. I really thought it was special that he shared the feedback and advice that he got from Daryl Green. I think that is a very important point. You all know I like to bring up my important points. That Daryl Green kind of gave him that 10-second rule. Hey, look, you got scored on, but by the time that score happens, by the time you get to the bench, you got to clear your head. You got to clear your mind. And he's admittedly like, hey, this is a top 5 receiver. These things are going to happen, and I love just the transparency in that. And again, sharing that advice he got from Daryl Green, which again, very important point. If this rookie is already getting advice from one of the greats at that position, that is a very good thing. So what we're seeing, where we may hear about growing pains from a quarterback perspective with a rookie quarterback, we got to remember there's other rookies on the team. Mike Sainristil, Luke McCaffrey, Brandon Coleman, Jordan McGee, that's going through recovery from an injury right now, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, and others. So things are going to happen. Going back to Dan Quinn's point from the question that I asked him about Luke and Mike, there's going to be improvement. You can see that the lessons that they're learning early is only going to help them get better. And it's just week 3. It's just week 3. So I'm believing and trusting in there's good things to come. I wanted to make sure that those things get highlighted because I know I am one of the media folks who has been really high on Mike Sainristil because there's absolutely reasons to be. But I know that may not illuminate or show itself just yet so far in the NFL season, but he's gone up some really good receivers and he's had to learn some really hard lessons that will be for his overall growth and improvement as his career goes on. Next up, here's my question to head coach Dan Quinn on the safety group. I know there's a lot of questions around the safeties, so I wanted to get Dan Quinn's take on that. And after you looked at the film for this past week, what did you see out of the safety group specifically?
I thought, number one, I loved, rotation of people, but I thought I really was impressed by Quan. I thought the hitting, the physicality for him, I felt that. I felt the energy for that. I felt what that looked like. So using Percy, using Chin, using him all in different roles, it's one of our deepest groups. And the ability to use all of them is really important. It's a long season, different roles for everybody, different matchups for everybody. And I thought there was a great play by Quan on a pass breakup to Gesicki down the left sideline on a 3rd down play that I really spoke to his range. And I thought that was one of the big plays in the game for Chin.
So if you all haven't noticed, I sure have, that Quan Martin's name continues to come up as an impactful player on defense. Now, in recent weeks, I've said, okay, there's still some more things I want to see on defense. And I think the overall team feels that way as well. But Quan Martin's name consistently comes up as a player that is playing the brand of football that this team desires to be. So that's a good thing. I know that many fans have been asking, where's Derek Forrest? So getting that idea from Dan Quinn on what he's seen so far from the safeties, that's good information. A lot of it is dependent on the play. It's depending on matchups. We will see this week if Derek is active, but I know that this is now a third week. We'll see what happens in week 4, but he's been inactive each week, and I know fans are wanting to see Defoe for sure. So we'll continue to see how that group progresses and go from there. So here's a little bit of footage from the bubble, because as you may have seen some of my posts, the heat in Phoenix, Arizona has been downright disrespectful. Okay. 107 degrees. So the team is working out at Arizona State. the home of the Sun Devils, and the Sun Devils were definitely outside in the air atmosphere as hot as it was. But they had a condensed practice on Wednesday, so we'll see. I think they have more of a full practice, but I'll see once I get there whether that practice will be inside or out. So I'm not sure just yet. When I give the next update, I will let you know where everything happened. But they're ready to go. As you all can see in this clip, they're not wearing pads, but still got in a good workout. I know a lot of the guys, they hit the weight room right after. So listen, they're getting ready for the week. They're already out here and they are getting ready to go. So all good things. You may see here on this clip, Emmanuel Forbes and Benjamin St-Juste catching footballs. Someone asked me about Emmanuel Forbes being a wide receiver. I think this is just catching drills. All of the defensive backs do catching drills. Why? Because this team, pass breakups, fantastic. Forced fumbles, absolutely. But they want the interception. They want the pick. And in a perfect world, they want the pick six. Go ahead and run that thing back. Get some points on the board. So it's not unusual to see the DBs catching footballs or hearing us talk about them catching footballs. So hopefully that results in some interceptions from the Commanders secondary. We know they've had a tough go so far, right? But let's see how that goes. Speaking of which, with Emmanuel Forbes, he is working toward being available for Sunday's game against the Arizona Cardinals. He was questionable last week and ended up being out. So the team is working toward him playing, but won't know for sure until much closer to game time. Now, let's get to the award-winning, because I guess we can say award-winning, because Jayden Daniels, again, NFC Player of the Week, another Rookie of the Week honors. Let's get into some of the questions I had for Jayden during his press conference on at least our first day in mine, at least, because others got here on Tuesday in Phoenix. Check it out.
Hey, Jayden. So 3 weeks into the NFL season, going into week 4, can you talk a little bit about the chemistry you're building with the entire offense, from the line, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, et cetera?
I mean, it's growing week in and week out. Obviously, like I said, it's only our third game playing with each other, so, we're all still trying to figure out how everybody plays in communication style, but, that's what practice for. And, we harp that practice, man, to communicate, get everybody on the same page so we can keep moving forward.
So we talk about the chemistry, of course, that we all saw between Jayden and Terry McLaurin, right? And a lot of people have been wanting to see that, so everybody saw it. But there's much to be said. Let's talk about this offensive line. They were dynamite on Monday night, and there's been some concerns there, right? Talk about this run game. Let's still talk about some of the tight ends and the tight end movement and what's happening there. There's other receivers as well. It's a good thing to see the chemistry building in each one of these pieces of the offense. Also knowing, to Jayden's point again, this is just their third week playing together, because they all didn't play together. And even Mikey Sainristil, from a defensive perspective, mentioned some of this in his scrum, right? He didn't play much and get a lot of snaps in the preseason. So this is real life now. And I think it's very important to just be watching and paying attention to everything right now that is happening with the Washington offense. Now, always note, because I always got to go back to reality, the more chemistry they get, the more film will be out there on them. So it'll be interesting to see how defenses start to prepare for a Commanders offense that was very convincing on Monday night, led by Jayden Daniels, and then see how Kliff Kingsbury in the Washington offense ends up responding to when people are kind of figuring them out. So we'll see. It's just week 3, but soon to be week 4. And right around the week 4, week 5 time is when, some of the covers started to get pulled off, like, oh, people have figured it out. So let's move on to another question that I had for Jayden in his presser.
And moving forward to week 4, is there anything that you saw in the film for yourself that you like to improve on?
Yeah, just go out there and just trust myself. I mean, there's sometimes maybe I could have ripped a pass here and there, It ultimately didn't result in a negative play, but, just looking back, it's like, man, maybe if I had that play here, we could, extend, have more yards, more explosive plays and things like that.
So, again, remarkable night. But you know me, CWall. I'm always going, because he's tremendous, for sure. But I'm still always intrigued by what else could you be doing more of? Because it's always areas of improvement, always ways to improve and to continue to shine. So anxious to see what more would we see from Jayden Daniels, because this is already a lot 3 weeks in. So I'm just already anxious and excited to see what else could be coming from this young man as he continues on with his career with the Washington Commanders. Next up is a question that I really, really loved from our media colleague from WUSA 9, Chick Hernandez. Check this out.
I know you got Arizona, but take me back to Monday night, and you're taking the little victory lap at the end there, and there is Doug Williams in the tunnel waiting for you. What's that moment like, that whole finish to the game?
It was awesome. Obviously, it was a very emotional, hard-fought win on the road against in a hostile environment against a very solid team in the Bengals. And, just to go out there and fight it out to the end and, be on the other side of the victory meant a lot. Just see all the fans who traveled all the way out there, go out there and just show them some love, see family, and just see Doug. You just sit up there and you reminisce of, Doug was doing this back in his time, and he put in the time here, man. So me and Doug had that relationship. It meant a lot.
So, speaking of Doug Williams, because yes, as you all know, he is here. You all probably saw some of the footage. He was definitely very, very excited on Monday night. There were a lot of, if you saw my post, I said there were a lot of happy faces in this press box, and Doug Williams was surely and certainly one of those happy faces. My colleague David Harrison, this is a little inside banter, but he said, Doug, how you feeling? You feeling good about this? And Doug gave out a hell yeah. And so all smiles. And you see me smiling here because it is nice and warm to be covering a team at such an exciting time and when positive things are going on. Historically even over the last 7 years, I've had to cover some dark days. So covering it when there's smiling and a lot of hard work being put in and no drama is fantastic. Moving on to some more information from what is going on down at practice. While Jayden was doing his press conference, one of the leaders of the team was doing one of the things he loves to do, apparently, when Jayden is doing his press conference, and that is heckle Jayden, distract him, or see if he can be distracted. So after Jayden's presser, we did do a media scrum with Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner. Again, bear with me, you all, with the camera function, okay? But check it out. Lots of good detailing here about Bobby Wagner's thoughts on Jayden Daniels, and definitely some sound bites you all want to pay attention to about Kyler Murray, because this is a thing. This is a real thing, and Bobby Wagner has gone up against Kyler Murray quite a few times in the past with his time with the Seattle Seahawks. So this is around 4 minutes long. Again, relax, chill out, and take a listen. And still to come, Tress Way's media scrum, which is always a boatload of fun.
At the podium, probably my rookie year, Sherm did it. Cam did it, Earl did it, KJ did it, so then I started doing it back to them. And then, you got to get more shine off his game, Sherm off his game, so this is lightweight.
Who's the hardest player you've ever like to distract?
Probably Sherm, because Sherm just start talking trash back to you and get the camera flipped. So he's very strategic.
How hard is it to distract Jayden?
It's not hard. He's a rookie.
Do you remember the first time you were sort of in that spot, you had a big game or something happened where people were all on, all eyes on you? How did you kind of launch that?
I came in a professional ride for Chelsea. I don't remember a moment. I remember Sherman. They always talk trash about it. I try to call a play, and they just notice something, my jersey, maybe, and stuff like that. So,
Are you asking football? Good. All right. Short work week, is that helpful after a win like that where you have to forget it pretty quickly?
I mean, it's always good when you win on a short week, but I think it kind of doesn't matter. You enjoy it, you appreciate it, then you move on. Because Arizona don't care about what we did last week.
You went around some great players, some great teammates, some future Hall of Famers. It's just 3 games. I'm not. I'm asking, what do you think of a guy that starts like this?
It's amazing. I mean, I think it's a good start. I think let him kind of finish writing his story for the season, and then, you know, maybe I'll have a better answer for you after that. But, you know, what he's been able to do, his composure, the way he's handled himself from the moment he walked in, you knew he was going to be special, and he's showing it.
What is it that you've been most impressed with, and especially watching throw that touchdown pass to Terry, he's getting whacked? What's really kind of jumped out to you?
Man, the composure, the humility. You know, when you came into the building today, you wouldn't have known that he was defensive offensive player of the week, and he had such a good game. It was just like a normal week. So I think that's the big stage. It's his humility and you know, his composure.
What do you say when you walk in the building? What's he doing that you say that?
He's working. You know, he's back working. He's watching film. He's taking notes. Moving on to the next thing.
Other teammates that you've had, like, if they have a good first week, how many games, snaps, or reps does it take for you to be like, okay, like that dude is who I think he is?
I mean, you kind of just know. I think it's a feel thing. I don't think it's a game thing. It's just a lot of it is just how long does it take them to be that person is the big question. And, you know, some guys, it takes a second from the transition, how they practice to how they play and things like that. But, you know, he's doing it.
You've seen a lot of Kyler over the years. What are the keys to stopping him? How has he changed over 4 or 5 years?
I don't know if you stop him, you try to slow him down. You know, he's really good throwing the ball. And he creates a lot of plays with his legs. And so you have to take one away. You can't give him both. If you give him both, he's going to have a really good day. And so, you know, we're going to try to do that.
How hard is that to do, though? He seems to be pretty slippery.
He's very hard. He's one of the hardest guys to tackle back there because you can't really see him. And then he's so quick, so fast. And as soon as you think you got him, he throws the ball over your head. Or he pump fakes you and keeps running. So he's a guy that you got to watch film. You got to know exactly what he's trying to do, and you want to limit him.
You obviously not only saw Kyler, you saw Kyler with Kliff for all those years. To what degree you can say, but how have you noticed Kliff evolve, change in terms of what you saw then versus a little bit of what you've seen now in practice these games?
I think he always does a really good job of highlighting the players' talents. You know, whatever Kyler did really, really well, and found a way to highlight that, and I think he's doing the same here. So that's the thing I've always been most impressed with. You know, when he had injuries come in and guys come in, he found a way to highlight their talent, and he's doing that again right now.
So I hope you all took notes. Again, bearing with me with the raw footage, you all. You know me. I'm going to be transparent and authentic. I'm there. I'm going to give you the information, but it's not derail. But I do hope that you all took some notes because Bobby Wagner shared a lot in that 4 minutes around the team, the Commanders team, Jayden Daniels, Kyler Murray as well. We still have, listen, everyone is on the highs of Monday Night Football, but there's a game to be played on Sunday. And preparation for that game starts now, but still leaning on the highs of Monday Night Football. I'm going to close this one out with the media scrum, which I came in a little late on, with the ultimate holder. If there ever was an award for the best daggone holder in the league right now, it would be Tress Way, who has not had to punt since week 1. Does everybody know how big of a deal that is? I hope everyone knows how big of a deal that is. And again, Tress Way wanted us to know he is still on the team. Okay, folks, he absolutely is. So check out our scrum with Tress.
I understand that's very selfish, and I'm having a lot of fun just out there holding, and the leg feels pretty fresh. So it's been a lot of fun. It's super cool.
You've obviously the longest tenured guy you've been around for a long time. There's been fits and starts and good moments, and then things kind of faded away. What does it feel any different right now with what's happening with Jayden and this team?
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, it feels different because there's just so much that is different, and but I think the momentum, the fun, the excitement, I don't know, the mindset. DQ does such an awesome job each week of just hitting us on different things and how we want to feel and how we're expecting the game to go and things like that. So it truly feels like each week is different. It was so fun today, getting to see everybody back in the team meeting room and do practice and walk through, and it was like, all right, here we go again. And so it is, everything is different, everything is awesome. Yeah.
How cool is this experience, being out here for the week, traveling rather than going home?
Yeah, miss the family big time, but this is like the funnest work trip imaginable, like if you want to call it that. And so it's being here with the guys, getting to go to dinner with the guys. We have the hotel. We're just all kind of posted up there, and it's been an awesome spot where we see each other around, and it just kind of feels like this giant work trip leading up to the game. So I feel like as we get closer and closer to the game, it'll really start ramping up into that. All right, here we go again. But this is a cool way to do it.
You've been here for a lot of rookie quarterbacks, first-year quarterbacks, all of that. How impressive you've been with Jayden, just the dude through all this?
Oh yeah, big time. That's the thing is seeing him react to other guys celebrating him has just been the coolest thing. I mean, he's just getting started. Like, he's a rookie, but seeing all these like veterans around him and everybody embracing him, celebrating with him. And there was a really cool moment. He just had a big old smile on his face whenever we were going through some of the highlights. Whenever he took off and slid, I think he broke that dude's freaking ankles and then slid, and the entire team room just like erupts and starts like over clapping and like applauding and things like that. And he just had a big old smile on his face, and so it's cool. It's cool to see him go through this for this first year, and dude is special, man. He is special. Yeah.
In terms of confidence, Austin has come in and been perfect so far. How that's going well. Does it feel different with him versus kind of where it started off?
Yeah, I mean, I just think anytime you have a kicker that comes in basically the middle of the week, gets tossed in the fire, and then goes out and sets the franchise record, that's a great way to start your career here with the team. And obviously he's a Sooner, so I'm biased that and I'm really pulling for him even more so. Like, I'm always pulling for our guys, but the Sooners, you really want to, except for this weekend, the quarterback on the other side for the Cardinals, don't want to see that Sooner do good. But it's been fun getting to know him and work with him, and he's doing an awesome job. Yeah.
So always lighthearted, great conversation with Tress Way. I thought it was very cool. Again, I'm always going to kind of point out what are some of the tidbits and notes and things that I paid attention to. And, for Jayden to be so excited about the team applauding and going wild over watching the film of his first slide, I thought that was really cool. And they're truly building a brotherhood and a camaraderie, as Tress was sharing as well. It's like the coolest work trip ever. And so I get to see a little bit of that work trip and experience a little bit of it, of course, from the media perspective. But there will be more to come, you all, and I will give another update and also be talking a bit more about just overall preparation for the game. So later today, there is the schedule is still the same. Well, not necessarily still the same, because like practice is a little later today, but it's still, in terms of a press conference perspective, just so media will still be meeting with Joe Witt and Kliff Kingsbury, doing different scrums with some of the players that they've made available to us during the week. And then tomorrow, it's still the same. I think after practice, Dan Quinn will give an update, and he'll share game captains and other tidbits about injuries throughout the week, game statuses, and the like. So I hope you all have enjoyed this update from Arizona, Washington Commanders exclusive insight, this kind of part one, if you will, version of the Washington Commanders update. This is Bowie TV. I am Candi CWall Waller, checking in from a very hot Phoenix, Arizona. If you've heard anything else in the background, it's the air conditioning, because it's on as high as it possibly can go. At any rate, you all, listen, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you keep watching if you're in the area, Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity, Channel 77, and I will be talking to you all again soon.